Welcome back to Chelsea Show, the home of trusted Chelsea news, honest analysis and everything Blues. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe, like and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on Chelsea FC. Now let's get into one of the biggest stories of this January transfer window. It is now official. Raheem Sterling will leave Chelsea in the January transfer market, bringing an end to a difficult and often frustrating chapter in his Stamford Bridge career. Chelsea and Sterling have reached a decision that a separation is the best outcome for all parties involved. The England international will complete a move away from West London, with the club finally clearing one of the biggest contracts on their wage bill as they continue their long-term rebuild under Enzo Maresca. Sterling's departure has been coming for months. Since the start of the season, he has been frozen out of first-team plans, training away from the main group and excluded from matchday squads. Under Maresca's system, Sterling simply did not fit tactically or stylistically. Chelsea's new direction prioritises younger, high-intensity, tactically flexible attackers, and Sterling, despite his experience, struggled to meet those demands. His defensive contribution, inconsistency in front of goal, and inability to adapt to positional discipline all worked against him. From a financial perspective, the situation was unsustainable. Sterling's massive wage package placed unnecessary strain on Chelsea's salary structure, especially at a time when the club is working aggressively to balance accounts and comply with financial regulations. When Raheem Sterling arrived from Manchester City, expectations were sky high. He came as a serial winner, a proven Premier League attacker, and someone expected to lead Chelsea's front line during a transitional era. However, reality proved far more complicated. Sterling had moments, flashes of quality, important goals, and occasional match-winning performances. But consistency was always missing. Injuries, tactical instability, and constant managerial changes made it difficult for him to ever settle. For Chelsea fans, Sterling's time at the club will be remembered as disappointing rather than disastrous, but far from the impact many hoped for. He never truly became the leader or difference maker Chelsea needed during a challenging rebuild phase. This move represents progress, not failure. For Chelsea, firstly, it frees up significant wages, allowing the club to reinvest smarter and more sustainably. Secondly, it opens the door for younger attackers to take on greater responsibility, whether that's emerging academy talents or recent signings still finding their rhythm. More importantly, Sterling's exit sends a clear message. No player is bigger than the project. Chelsea are committed to building a cohesive, hungry squad that aligns fully with the manager's philosophy. From a squad harmony perspective, this decision removes a lingering distraction. A player training separately and earning elite wages without contributing on the pitch is never healthy for dressing room balance. Sterling's next destination will keep him in English football, where he believes he can revive his career and remain competitive at the highest level. While Chelsea fans will be curious to see how he performs elsewhere, the focus at Stamford Bridge is firmly forward-looking. At 30 years old, Sterling still has football left in him, and a fresh environment could suit him. But for Chelsea, the priority is evolution, not nostalgia. Chelsea supporters are divided on Sterling, but one thing is clear. This move is right for everyone. Sterling leaves without animosity, but also without regret from the club. His professionalism has not been questioned, yet football is ruthless, and decisions must serve the collective vision. As Chelsea continue to reshape their identity, moves like this, bold, decisive, and strategic, are exactly what fans have been calling for. Raheem Sterling's exit marks another step in Chelsea's transformation. It's the closing of a chapter that never fully delivered, but also the opening of a new one built on clarity, youth, and purpose. Chelsea are moving forward, leaner, smarter, and more focused. For more Chelsea updates, transfer breakdowns, and match reactions, this is Chelsea Show, your trusted home for Blues news. Stay tuned, because January is just getting started. Today, Chelsea returned to winning ways with a much-needed 2-0 victory over Everton at Stamford Bridge. But the post-match talking point was not only the result or the performance. Instead, it was Enzo Maresca's surprisingly candid and emotional reaction, as the Chelsea head coach revealed he had endured what he described as the worst 48 hours since I joined the club, despite his side moving back into the Premier League top four. The Blues delivered a composed and efficient display after a difficult run of form, having failed to beat Leeds, Bournemouth and Atalanta in their previous 3 outings. Malo Gusto was central to Chelsea's resurgence on the afternoon, setting up Cole Palmer for the opening goal before getting on the scoresheet himself to seal the win. Palmer once again showed his importance to Maresca's side with a calm and clinical finish, while Gusto's energy and intelligence from fullback gave Chelsea a cutting edge down the right. However, it was when Maresca was asked about Gusto's performance that the Italian unexpectedly turned his attention to what he felt was a lack of backing in the days leading up to the match. Clearly frustrated, Maresca hinted at criticism and negativity that had surrounded both him and the team during their recent struggles, though he stopped short of naming who his comments were aimed at. The last 48 hours have been the worst 48 hours since I joined the club, because many people didn't support us, Maresca said. So I'm very happy for Malo, that the effort from Malo and from the rest show that they are all there and they want to help this club. When pressed to clarify whether his remarks were directed internally or externally, Maresca refused to be drawn, instead repeating his point and making sure to separate the supporters from his criticism. Worst 48 hours since I joined the club because people didn't support me and the team, he said again. I love the fans and we are very happy with the fans. That distinction was important, especially given the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge, where supporters backed the team throughout and celebrated a performance that looked far more in control than recent outings. For Maresca, the result felt like vindication after days of scrutiny, particularly following the disappointing draw against Leeds. He took full responsibility for that setback, admitting his own mistakes rather than placing blame on his players. I took completely 100% responsibility from the Leeds game, Maresca explained. It's been my mistake in terms of the lineup, in terms of the game plan. It was not about the players. Again, we are getting better and better and better, especially with all these kinds of situations that we try to manage since day one. Chelsea's performance against Everton reflected that message. The team looked organised, patient in possession, and more decisive in the final third. Defensively, they limited Everton's clear chances despite the visitors having moments where they threatened to get back into the contest. Everton manager David Moyes was blunt in his assessment of the gap between the two sides, pointing to the financial disparity as a key factor. Maybe £1 billion difference, Moyes said. Overall, it's a game of 11 v 11, so that's how we started. I thought we played well. The visitors were dealt an early blow when Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall was forced off after just 16 minutes with an unspecified injury, disrupting their midfield balance. Jack Grealish was also withdrawn late on after feeling his hamstring, adding to Moyes' frustrations on the day. Despite those setbacks, Everton continued to compete and created opportunities, particularly in the second half. We were never out of the game at 2-0, Moyes added. Today might have even got us into the top 4 if we got a result. In football, you get a chance, you've got to take it. It wasn't for the want of trying, that's for sure. We actually challenged the players to come to Chelsea and show that we could match them. Maybe we just ran short of the quality required. For Chelsea, the win may prove to be a turning point, not just in the league table, but in terms of belief and unity. Maresca's comments suggest a manager who feels the pressure acutely, but also one who remains convinced in his methods and the commitment of his players. With momentum restored and confidence lifted, the challenge now is to ensure this result becomes the foundation for consistency rather than a brief moment of relief.